Hello to all of you. This is UC, the head teacher of PTE APEUni. Today and in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about fill in the blanks reading and writing, which is one of the most important tasks in PTE. Like our previous videos, this one will be divided into two parts. In the first part, we will learn about some basic information of fill in the blanks reading and writing. On the test day, the exam interface of FIBRW will be like this. You will see a passage which has roughly 120 to 200 words. In the passage, there will be 4 to 5 blanks, and for each blank, there are 4 to 5 options, and your task is to select the correct option for each blank. There are 5 to 6 FIBRW items in the exam. The reading section is group timed, which is between 29 to 30 minutes, meaning if you spend too much time in fill in the blanks reading and writing, then you may not have enough time to finish the rest of the reading section. Thus, time management is very important. You are suggested to spend no more than 2 minutes in each FIBRW question. FIBRW is a major player in both PTE reading and writing. It contributes 29% to PTE reading and 25% to PTE writing, so it is one of the most important question types in PTE. Now, let's talk about the marking criteria of fill in the blanks reading and writing. You will get 1 point for each correctly completed blank. There is no negative marking, so even if you don't know the answer of a certain blank, still give it a guess. Do not leave it blank. There is still a 25% chance that you can get that 1 point. If you're targeting 79 or above, you should aim to get at least 80% of the marks in FIBRW. It means that you can only have at most 1 blank wrong in each FIBRW question. If you're targeting 65 or above, you should aim to get at least 70% of the marks. It means that for each FIBRW question, you should never have more than 2 blanks wrong. And if you're targeting 50 or below, you should aim to get at least 50% of the marks. That means you need to get at least half of the blanks correct. After knowing the basic information of fill in the blanks reading and writing, let's get to part 2, learning the exam strategies. Let's begin with our first FIBRW practice. Please pause the video here and take 2 minutes to give this question a try, and I will teach you how to solve this very soon. Before we start to solve this question, let's talk about how to read the passage first. When solving an FIBRW question, there is no need to read through the whole passage at first. It will be a waste of time and energy. We can only spend at most 2 minutes in each FIBRW question, which is very limited. And in most cases, the information we need to answer the blanks lies in the part of the passage before the blank and at most 1 more sentence after the blank. For example, when you're answering the first blank, we just have to read from the start of the passage until the first blank. In most cases, it is sufficient for us to make a decision. If not, read 1 more sentence. But you don't need to read the later half of the passage to answer it. Let me show you what I meant in context. We are trying to answer the first blank here. Do not waste time to read through the whole passage. We just need to quickly read from the start of the passage until the sentence with the first blank. I've highlighted these 2 sentences in the green color. We may find it insufficient for us to answer. Then we move on to read 1 more sentence. 1 more sentence is enough, which is in yellow color. And that's it. You can completely ignore the rest of the passage. As we shall see very soon, the first 3 sentences are absolutely enough for us to make a right choice for the first blank. Having understood how to properly read a passage, Now let's get down to answering the first blank, which will make use of our second strategy, finding clues from the context. When you're reading, pay close attention to all the details that might be related to the blank, which are words with similar meanings or words that discuss similar subjects, especially in the sentences before and after the blank, because in a passage, adjacent sentences normally convey the same or similar information in a logical order. Let's see what clues we can find for the first blank. In the sentence with the blank, we can see a time clue, before 1800. Keep reading. Alcohol and opium had blank success in easing pain. Looking at the choices, little, title, much, and great. Title success doesn't make much sense here. We can cross that out. And we are left with little success, much success, or great success. So basically, it's asking whether alcohol and opium were successful in easing pain or not. Okay, now let's see what clues we can find from the sentences before and after it. Pay attention to words with similar meanings or discussing similar subjects. Any time clues? Anything related to easing the pain? In the first sentence, before effective anesthetics is quite similar to the phrase before 1800. They both use the word before. Obviously, this is another time clue. Keep reading. Surgery was very crude and very painful. It's discussing a similar issue as our blank, something related to pain. The word painful means in surgery, people felt pain, so it was not successful in easing pain. Now, let's take a look at the third sentence. Laughing gas was used in 1844. In 1844 is another time clue, and 1844 is later than the 1800 mentioned in the second sentence. Keep reading again. In dentistry in the USA, but failed to ease all pain. It's talking about pain again. Failed to ease all pain indicates that it was still not successful in easing pain in 1844. Now, let's gather these clues together. Before effective anesthetics, it was not successful in easing pain in surgery. Then, before 1800, was it successful in easing pain? We're not sure yet. But in 1844, it was still not successful in easing pain. So now we can be sure that before 1800 must not be successful in easing pain. Thus, the answer for the first blank is little. Little success means not successful. Let's move on to the second blank. Again, we don't need to read the part of the passage after the blank. The sentences before the blank is sufficient for us to make a right choice. In fact, for this blank, we only need to pay attention to the highlighted sentence. Let's analyze this sentence first. Laughing gas was used blah blah blah, but failed to ease all pain and patients blank conscious. If laughing gas failed to ease all pain, it means that patients still felt the pain, so patients were still conscious. This is common sense and clear logic. Now, let's have a look at these four options: maintained, remained, persisted, continued. They are very similar words. All of them have a similar meaning, which is to be in the same situation. So this blank is actually testing us on the minor differences between similar words. In order to solve this type of blanks, we need the third strategy to help us, which is to pay attention to details in the dictionary. These details include grammar tags, description of the meanings, and example sentences or collocations. The first word is maintain. Here we are using the Longman Dictionary to search this. The website address has been shown at the bottom of the image. The very first piece of information we need to look up in dictionary is its lexical category. Is it a noun, an adjective, or a verb? We can see that maintain is a verb. To be more specific, a transitive verb, as you can see here highlighted in green. A transitive verb is a verb that has to be followed with an object, which is normally a noun, to receive the action. Let's go back to the sentence. Patients blank conscious. Conscious is an adjective. It's not a noun. It cannot act as an object to receive an action. Therefore, this blank cannot be a transitive verb, so maintained is not correct. Let's take a look at another word, persisted. When we search persist in the dictionary, we can see that it can be used both as transitive or intransitive. So from the grammar level, it might be the correct option. Let's have a look at its descriptions of meaning. Its first meaning is to continue to do something, which is related to an action. For example, he persisted in his refusal to admit responsibility. Refusal is an action of refusing something. Or, another example, she persisted with her studies in spite of financial problems. Her studies is an action of studying. Now let's get back to the sentence. As we previously mentioned, conscious is an adjective. It is more of a state, not an action. Staying conscious can be an action, but conscious itself is not one. So persist in its first meaning doesn't fit in our sentence. Let's have a look at its second meaning. If something bad persists, it continues to exist. In our sentence, if we were to say patients persisted conscious, it won't make sense because patients are not something bad. Patients are people. So persist in its second meaning doesn't fit here either. Thus, persisted is not the answer we are looking for. Now, let's move on to the third word, continue. It can be transitive or intransitive, so it is grammatically correct. It means to not stop happening, existing, or doing something. Let's have a closer look at the example sentences to understand how it's used. From the first three example sentences, we can summarize its common usage. Somebody plus continue plus action, often to do something. For example, Sheila continued to work. To work is an action. He will be continuing his education, which is also an action, which means he will be continuing to attend his education courses. As we have discussed before, conscious is not an action, so this usage of continue doesn't fit in our sentence. Let's keep on reading the other example sentences. We can find that the second usage scenario of continue is something plus continue. For example, the strike continued. The flood of refugees continued. Let's get back to our sentence here. The subject is patients. Again, it is not something. It is somebody. So clearly, this usage scenario of continue doesn't fit in our sentence either. Therefore, the option continued is not correct. Let's see if our last option, remained, is the correct one. Remain means to continue to be in the same state or condition. It can be used as an intransitive verb or a linking verb. As we can see from the grammar explanation of linking verb at the bottom of the dictionary screenshot, linking verb links the subject of the sentence with an adjective or noun. For example, he remains undecided about what to do, meaning he continues to be in the state of not sure of what to do. The boy remained silent, meaning the boy continued to be in the state of silence. Both of these two example sentences have a similar structure as our sentence. In our sentence, the subject patients, which is somebody, conscious is an adjective. Patients remained conscious is very similar in structure to the boy remained silent. It means that patients were still in the state of consciousness. It also matches the logic analysis we previously talked about. Laughing gas failed to ease all pain, resulting in the fact that patients were still in the state of consciousness. Therefore, the answer of this blank is remained. Now, let's move on to our third blank. Again, we do not need to read the part of the passage after the blank. Reading the highlighted sentences is enough for us to answer this blank. In order to solve this blank, we need to use some grammar knowledge. We can see the four options for the third blank are phrases in different tenses of the same verb, transport. Obviously, it is testing our grammar knowledge here. There is some basic grammar knowledge that you have to know for the PTE exam. It includes tense, voice, basic sentence patterns, and different types of clauses. There are 12 basic tenses in English, including present simple, present continuous, present perfect continuous, past simple, future simple, and so on, and two types of voices, which are passive voice and active voice. Basic sentence patterns are the simplest sentence patterns in English, such as a subject plus a linking verb plus complement. In our previous blank, patients remained conscious is exactly this pattern, or subject plus an intransitive verb, and so on. You also need to know about different types of clauses and how each of them is used. For example, relative clauses, subordinate clauses, and etc. These grammar points are often used and tested in the exam. I don't have time to explain all of these to you in this video. If you find yourself unfamiliar with any of these terms, make sure that you search them up and read them later. If you're interested in some grammar lessons, you can leave me a comment under this video. I will put it into consideration. Now, let's solve this blank with our grammar knowledge. First, let's analyze the details of the four options. The tense of is transported is present simple, and is transported is in passive voice. The tense of was transported is simple past, also in passive voice. The tense of has transported is present perfect. This is in active voice. The tense of had transported is past perfect, also in active voice. Then let's analyze the sentence. The part before the blank says, it was highly flammable. The word was means it's in past tense. If the first part of the sentence is in past tense, then in most cases, the second part follows the same tense. So only was transported or had transported can be correct. The difference between these two options is the voice. So should it be in passive voice or active voice? Let's see. It was highly flammable. The subject it here refers to ether, as we can easily find out from the first sentence. Ether is a drug. It cannot transport itself into glass bottles. It has to be transported by a human being, so we must use passive voice here. Therefore, the answer is was transported. For our next practice, let's have a look at this question. Please pause the video here and take 2 minutes to give it a try, and I'll teach you how to solve this question with our next strategy.